Good day, mathematicians, and welcome. We are going to study math today, and today's topic is area. And here we go. So today we're going to find the area of a rectangle where one side has a fractional length. So for example, with our blue rectangle here, we have the width is 2 feet and the length is 4.5 feet. And today you may use a calculator, but we're also going to model our calculations. So we're going to model it and then solve with a calculator. You may use a calculator on your computer, or if you have a calculator with you, you may use that as well. And to make sure that you have this packet to follow along. All right, here we go.
Hi, welcome to Math Antics. In our last geometry video, we learned that all two-dimensional shapes have a one-dimensional quantity called perimeter, which is basically the outline of the shape. In this video, we're going to learn that these shapes also have a two-dimensional quantity called area. To help you understand what area is, let's start by imagining a line that's 1 centimeter long. Now, let's imagine moving that line in a perpendicular direction a distance of 1 centimeter. But while we move it, it leaves a trail, almost like the end of a paintbrush. By moving the one-dimensional line that way, we formed a two-dimensional shape. And all of the space or surface that we covered along the way is the area of that shape, which as you can see here is just a square. Okay, but how much area does this square have? Well, our original line was 1 centimeter long, and we moved it a distance of 1 centimeter, so we could say that this shape is a square centimeter. Just like a centimeter is a basic unit for measuring length, a square centimeter is a basic unit for measuring area. But there's other units for area too. For example, instead of a centimeter, what if our line had been a meter long? And what if we had moved it 1 meter? The area we'd have gotten would be 1 square meter. Or what if our line was a mile long and we moved it a mile? We'd have a square mile of area. So just like with perimeter, the units of measurement are very important when we're talking about area. All right, so that gives you a good idea of what area is, but how do we calculate area mathematically? Well, there's some special math formulas or equations that we can use to find the area of different shapes. In this video, we're going to learn the formula for squares and rectangles and the formula for triangles. To find the area of any square or rectangle, all we have to do is multiply its two side dimensions together. They're usually called the length and the width. So the formula looks like this. Area equals length times width. But it's often written with just the first letters of each word as abbreviations. A for area, L for length, and W for width. So let's see if that formula works for our original square centimeter. If we multiply the length, 1 centimeter, times the width, 1 centimeter, what do we get? Well, 1 times 1 is just 1, but what about centimeter times centimeter? Centimeter times centimeter just gives us square centimeters, which we can write like this using a 2 as an exponent. We read this as centimeters squared, and it's just a shorter way of writing centimeter times centimeter. So whenever you see units like centimeters squared, or inches squared, or meters squared, or miles squared, you know it's a measurement of the two-dimensional quantity area. Okay, our formula, area equals length times width, worked for our square. Now let's see if it works for a rectangle. Here's a rectangle that's 4 centimeters wide and 2 centimeters long, or tall. First, we plug the length and width into our formula, 2 centimeters and 4 centimeters. Then we just multiply. 2 times 4 equals 8, and centimeter times centimeter is centimeter squared. So according to our formula, the area of this rectangle is 8 centimeters squared. And we can see that's correct if we bring back our original square centimeter. If we make copies of it, you can see that exactly 8 of those square centimeters would be the same area as this rectangle. Great. Let's try our formula on one more rectangle. This rectangle is 2 centimeters long, but only half a centimeter wide. And our formula, area equals length times width, tells us that we just need to multiply these two sides together to get our area. 2 times 1/2 equals 1. So this rectangle is also 1 square centimeter. How could that be a square centimeter? It's not even a square. But just because a shape takes up 1 square centimeter of area, that doesn't mean it has to be a square shape. It just means that the total area would be equal or the same as a square centimeter. You can see that if we break up the rectangle in half and rearrange it, then it would form a square. In fact, we can use square units, like square centimeters, to measure any area, no matter what the shape is. It could be a rectangle, a triangle, a circle, or any other two-dimensional shape.
Okay, so now we're on this page right here. Okay, and when you're solving the problems, feel free to use the margins. There's also space on the back, or you can use a separate sheet of paper. Okay, so here we go. Let me just click here. All right, Brianna purchased a new carpet for her room. The carpet measures 3 1/4 feet long and 2 feet wide. What is the area of her carpet? All right, so we know that her carpet, here's her carpet, and it is 3 1/4 feet wide or long. Okay, that means that it's 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, and then this little section right here would be a 1/4. Then it's 2 feet wide. So if we split that in half, it would be 1 foot wide there and 1 foot wide there, because that adds up to 2. So it would look like this if we divided it up. Okay, so that would be 1 foot. Each square would be 1 foot by 1 foot, which would be 1 foot squared. So I'm going to write this down, 1 foot squared. So on your paper, you want to write 1 foot squared. Okay. And then right next to that, 1 foot squared, 1 foot squared. Notice how it's a square. 1 foot squared, 1 foot squared, and 1 foot squared. Okay. So you have all that written. Now, what would these little sections be? Okay, because they're not whole foots. They're 1 foot tall, but they're only 1/4 of a foot wide. So they would only be 1/4 of a foot squared. So you can write that down, 1/4 of a foot squared for each one of those. Okay. All right, so let's add up all of the whole numbers. We can do that easily. And what do you get when you add up all of the whole numbers? You should get 6 feet. So we have 6 feet there, squared. It is 6 feet squared. All right, now what is 1/4 plus 1/4? You should get 2/4. Now, can we simplify 2/4? Yes, 2/4 equals 1/2. Okay, so we have 1/2 foot squared. And we add that together, and the area would be 6 1/2 feet squared. 6 1/2 feet squared. Okay. All right. So the area of her carpet is 6 1/2 feet squared. Now let's try that with a calculator. Let's check our answer with a calculator. Area equals the base times the height, or length times width. So the base is 3.5 feet, or sorry, 3 1/4 feet, times your height, which is 2 feet. So we're going to multiply that together using a calculator. And we have 3 unit, 1 numerator, 4 times 2 equals, and you should get 2 2/4, 2 2/4. And then you can hit the simplify button if you want to, or you can just reduce it in your head, and you get 6 1/2 feet squared. Okay, next, it's your turn. Okay, we're ready for the next one, and it is not in your packet actually. I just noticed that this one says Carter purchased a new carpet for his room, but your packet says Julia, which means that in the copy center somehow this page got missed. So what I'd like you to do is solve this problem on the back. Okay, I'm not sure how that got missed, but it did. So we're just gonna move along. All right, so here we go. I'm just gonna skip this. Carter purchased a new carpet for his room. The carpet measures 7.5 feet long and 5 feet wide. What is the area of his carpet? Okay, so here's Carter's carpet. Okay, here's Carter's carpet, and it is 7.5 feet long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. And it is 5 feet wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is an independent practice problem, so I want you to solve it on your own. So you're going to pause the video, solve this on your own, and then unpause the video when you are done. Okay, so we're going to unpause the video, and you're going to, let's go over our answers. Okay, so here is the rectangle, and you should have drawn vertical lines down and horizontal lines across. And inside we have 1 foot squared for each of these squares. Okay, and then the ones on the edge right here are each 1/2 of a foot squared. Okay, now here we have 7 across and 5 down. That means that we have 35 whole squares. Now on the right here, we can pair them up because 1/2 and 1/2 equals 1. So over here we have 1 whole, and then we have another 1 whole, and then we have 1/2. So that equals 2 1/2. And if we add those together, we would get 37.5 feet squared. Let's check our answer with a calculator. Area equals the base times the height, or for a rectangle we can do length times width. The base is 7.5 times 5. So we can type into our calculator 7.5 times 5, and you should get 37.5 feet squared. Okay, Practice meets perfect. Luke's carpet. Okay, and you have this in your packet as well. Luke's carpet. Luke's carpet is 12 1/3 foot by 6 feet. And I'd like you to find the area of his carpet. Unpause the video when you're ready to go over the answer. Okay, and here we go. You should have drawn some lines down and across, and each full square is 1 foot squared. And then this last column here, it's only 1/3 foot, so that would be 1/3 foot squared because it's 1/3 by 1. Okay, so around here, it would be 6 feet by 12 feet. So if you multiplied that or counted that correctly, you would get 72 feet. And then this column here is thirds. So now 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 is 3/3, which would be 1 foot. So each group of 3 gives us 1 foot squared. So you'd have 1 foot, and then down here you'd have 1 foot. So that would be a total of 2 feet. Okay, and you add that together and you get 74 feet squared. With a calculator, you could do 12 1/3 foot times 6 feet, or you could do that with paper and pencil. Okay, I think we are. All right, now it's time to find the last carpet's measurements, which is Jackson's carpet. His carpet is 8 1/4 foot by 5 feet. So at this time, please find the area of Jackson's carpet. pause the video, solve, and then unpause the video when you are ready to find the answer. And we're ready to find the answer. Here we go. So we've divided our carpet lengthwise into 8 1/4 sections, and then across into 5-foot sections. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a fourth. And we're going to keep doing that. Here we go. So we have 8 sections, 8-foot sections here. And then 1/4 sections there. And then when we take a look at our 1 whole foot sections, we have exactly 40 feet squared. Now on the left here, these are all 1/4 of a foot squared, and that means that 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, equal a foot. So 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 4/4, and that's a whole. And then we have 1/4 more, so that would be 1 1/4. So if we add 40 plus 1 1/4, we get 41 1/4. And that brings us to the end of our lesson, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.